Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Linda. Here on this channel, I share videos about sewing, pattern drafting, and everything fashion. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to draft the upper part of this two-piece clothing. We have the off-shoulder corset with balloon sleeves, and we have the fitted palazzo pants. If this is the kind of video you like watching, you might want to hit the subscribe button and also tap on the notification bell for more videos like this. Let's begin. So guys, here on my work table, you can see I have my pattern paper with the shoulder line drawn on it. Okay, that's going to be the starting line, or the shoulder line as we call it. Now I'm going to draft our vertical measurement. So now from the shoulder line, I'm going to place my tape rule and mark my bust point, which is 10 inches, and then my under bust of about 13 inches, and then the waistline from 17 inches, all starting from the shoulder line. And then I'm going to mark the length of the top we are making. Okay, for this I'm going to pick 21 or 22 inches. I'll just go by 21 inches, and then I'm going to connect the lines respectively. Now I am going to label this as my bust point. We have our under bust, then followed by the waistline and the top length. The next thing I'm going to do is to draft the half of my shoulder measurement. Okay, my shoulder measurement is 16 divided by 2, which equals 8. Now I'm going to mark a neckline measurement of 3 by 3, and then I'm going to connect it with my curve ruler. So for this outfit, you're not going to be needing the neckline measurement anyways, because it's an off shoulder. This is just for drafting purpose. Now I'm going to mark the shoulder slope. Okay, so I'll go down from this point by 1 inch, and then I'm going to mark a slanted diagonal line as the shoulder slope. Now from that point, I'm going to place my tape rule to measure the armhole depth. So place your tape rule this way and divide your bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5. Okay, then whatever you get is going to be your armhole depth. For me, it's 8 inches standard. Now I'm going to connect the lines. After connecting the lines both ways, I'm going to measure what I have here and then get the midpoint. And from there, I'll go inwards by half of an inch for the armhole curve. So to get the armhole curve, I'll measure what I have around my chest, and then I'll mark the quarter. So around that part, I'll be making use of my bust circumference divided by 4. Whatever I get is what I'll mark, which will be used to connect the 3 points together to get your armhole curve. Now I'm going to mark the nipple to nipple measurement, which is also known as the bust span. For me, I have 3.5, and I'm going to be marking it here. So divide your bust span by 2 and mark the half of the measurement. After I was done doing that, I went ahead to connect it into a straight line. Because we are drafting an off-shoulder corset, I'm going to determine the depth of my neckline. So for me, I'm making use of 3 inches upwards, but from the shoulder line in reverse is 7 inches. So I'll just connect the line. This can vary from one person to another anyways, so I'm not going to display or expose any boobs here. So I'll just connect the dart line up to that chest line. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to take in our darts. Okay, so on the under bust line, I'm going to mark 0.75 inches on both sides. Okay, and after that, I'm going to come upwards at the chest line, and then I'm going to mark ½ inch on both sides. And after doing that, I'll go ahead and connect the dots to the bust point line, just like this. The reason for this dart is to enhance the upper bust tightening and avoid gaping. So after connecting the upper part on the chest line, I'll go ahead and connect the points on the under bust to the bust point line. Now after I am done, the next thing I'll do is to connect the remaining dart legs to the length of the top. Okay, the top length. So I'll go ahead and take ½ of an inch on both sides, just like this, and afterwards I'll connect the rest of the darts to the under bust line. So after I was done marking the first dart, I'll go ahead and impute the body measurement first of all before I continue with the darts intake. Now I'm going to mark the quarter of each body points I have around the lines and also replace all the darts I'm taking out. On my bust point I have 9.75 and then around the underbust I have 8.5 plus the dart intake of 1.5 inches I took. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the waistline and the top length respectively. Also on the chest line, I'll be marking the round measurement for my off shoulder, which is 9 inches, plus the 1 inch I'm taking out for the dart, and then I'm going to connect it as well. I'll go ahead and replace the 1 inch around the armhole area, this part like this, and then I'm going to use that to create a new armhole curve. Now I'm going to connect the lines just like you see me doing. So guys, after connecting the lines by the side, I'm going to measure what I have for this part of my underbust. I'm going to mark the initial measurement. Because I replaced the dart intake, I'm going to be checking what I have there, which is 1.5, and then I'm still going to distribute that 1.5 inch on this part. So half inch for the part that goes inwards and then 1 inch on the part that goes to the side. Okay, I'll mark half inch on the center front and then I'll be marking the remaining 1 inch on the side front. Okay, this is because I want to really snatch the underbust, like I want to snatch the underbust to make it look more pronounced. So I'll just use my curved ruler to reconnect the curves. After I was done connecting the curves, I went ahead to also connect the dart legs to that point I made on the top length. So this is what it looks like to extend our dart. So I'm not going to be making use of the initial dart, I'm going to be cancelling that. So the next thing to do now is to create another dart, our second dart. So I'll go ahead and divide this part into 2 equal halves and then connect the line up to the chest line and downwards to the top length. Okay, so on the waistline I'll go ahead and mark 0.25 inches, which is quarter of an inch on both sides of the line, and then I'll repeat the same thing on the underbust area. Then I'm going to use that as a guide to draw another dart leg. So I'll go ahead and connect everything just like this. So guys, also on the chest line, I'm going to come inwards by quarter of an inch on both sides, just like I did for the underbust and the waistline. I'll go ahead and connect a slant curve just like this with my curve ruler. So guys, the next thing to do now is to impute the sewing allowance for the body measurement. So I'll go ahead and add 1.5 inches to all the horizontal lines I drew. So on the course of marking the measurement for the top length, I discovered I didn't replace the 1 inch that I took. So I'm just going to mark the 1 inch, then I'll do away with the initial line I drew. So I'll just cancel the line just like this and also include our sewing allowance. So guys, now I'm going to label this as 1, 2 and 3. Okay, number 1 is the center front, number 2 and 3 are the side front. Now I'm going to take the basque measurement for our waistline. To do that, I'll go ahead and come down around this part of the waistline by 2 inches, and on the center front I'll come down by 6 inches from the waistline and also make a point there. Now I'm going to be connecting the lines diagonally this way, but before doing that I'll exclude the sewing allowance and start directly from our normal body measurement. So I'll just go ahead and connect it this way and extend the dart legs as well. So now these are the parts of the dart I'm going to be taking out. Okay, so I'm just marking it for you guys to understand so you know where to cut out. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done cutting out the front piece. These are all what we need for the front. So now for the back, I'll go ahead and draft my basic body measurements, okay? Starting from the shoulder line, I'm going to measure what I have for the zipper first of all. So I have 2 inches. I gave 2 inches for the zipper. I'm just going to draw the line and extend it all the way down to the waistline. Next, I'm going to place my tape rule from the starting line, which is the shoulder line. I'll go ahead and mark my waist measurement, okay, which is 17 inches, and still leaving my tape on that place. I'm going to mark my bust point, which is 10, then the under bust, which is really not useful, and then I'll go ahead and mark the neckline. So for the neckline, I'll be marking 1 inch by 3 inches away from the zipper allowance, and then I'm going to connect it with my curved ruler. Next, I'm going to impute half of my shoulder measurement starting from the zipper allowance. So I'll go ahead and mark 8 inches, and then from there I'll be marking 1 inch below for my shoulder slope, and also connect the line diagonally like this. So after doing that, next thing I'm going to do is to mark our armhole depth for our armhole curve. So I'll also go ahead and connect the lines just like I did for the front. This is going to be my bust point line. I'll skip the under bust line and mark the waistline, and after which I'll go ahead and connect my armhole curve with my curved ruler just like this. Now I'm going to be imputing the quarter of my bust circumference. So I made a mistake here. I was supposed to mark 9.75 instead of 10.75. So I have 9.75 for my quarter of my bust. Next, I'm going to impute the measurement for the chest line, which is where the off shoulder will be starting from. So I'm marking 7 inches, same as the front, and then I'll go ahead and connect the line just like this. Now I'm going to label the lines. This is going to be my chest line, and I have my bust point line followed by my waistline. There's no under bust line because it's not useful. The next thing I'm going to do now is to mark our nipple to nipple measurement. So I'll be marking from the zipper. So I'll go ahead and mark 3.5 inches and then connect the line just like this. So guys, on the waistline, I went ahead to take 1/2 inch on both sides, which will make up to 1 inch, and then I'm going to connect that to the upper chest line just like this. Okay, after I was done connecting that, I went ahead to impute our body measurements. So I'm going to be marking the quarter of my waist circumference plus the dart intake I just marked, and also at the bust point I'll go ahead and mark what I have there plus that intake I took out, as you can see, and then I'll go ahead and do the same thing I did for the front around the chest line. I'm marking 9 inches here and connect our new armhole from that point. So I'll go ahead and do that with my curved ruler and connect the rest of the line with my straight ruler. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done. Now I'm going to contour the zipper allowance. I'll be going upwards around the waistline like this by 1/2 of an inch, and then I'm going to slant that into the waistline just like you see me doing. On the waistline, I'll be coming down by 2 inches just like I did for the front. So I'll bring a piece of the side front and use that as a guide. I'm going to measure what I have around the sewing allowance, okay? So I'll go ahead and flip it the other way around to check what exactly I have around this part of the waistline. So I'll go ahead now and flip the side front like this, and then I'm going to take my tape rule and measure what I have from this point all the way down to the lower part. So I have 10 inches there. I'm going to use that measurement on the back piece, okay, on the side back. So I'll go ahead now and place my tape rule like this and impute the same measurement I got. So I'll just measure what I have here, which is 1 inch, and extend it to the center of the back, okay? So I'll mark it from that slant I made for the zipper bulge. I'll go ahead and mark 1 inch there, then connect the line with the straight ruler. Now I'm going to extend this part of the dart legs as well, and also go ahead and complete the sides like this. Now after doing that, I'll go ahead and mark this part as the center back and this part as the side back, and also I'll be adding my sewing allowance of 1 inch all the way around like this, and then connect with a straight ruler. After connecting the line, I'll label this as the sewing allowance, and then I'll readjust the neckline for the back. If you want to have a deeper neckline, go ahead and mark 1 inch just like this, and then connect it to the chest line as you see me doing. But if you don't want, you can go ahead and pick any of the measurements you want. Also on the zipper area around the waistline, I'll be coming in with by half of an inch to eliminate zipper bulge, and then I'm going to draw the line upwards like this in a slant pattern, and this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to be sharing this part into 2 equal halves and get the midpoint so that we impute the second dart. So I'll not be marking any dart, I'll just connect it into a straight line. I'm just going to slash it apart. The center back is the number 1, the side back is number 2 and number 3. So we'll have 2 side back and 1 center back. Now I'm going to connect the neckline like this. This is what I'm going to be using for the back piece. And then I'm going to do away with the initial lines I marked before cutting it out. So guys, this is what I had for my patterns. I have 3 front piece and also I have 3 back piece, as you can see. If you take a close look, you are going to notice that the side front and the side backs are matching up together to give equal measurement on the sides. So this is going to run from the front to the side of the back, and that's just basically everything for this tutorial. We are going to be cutting it out on fabric on our next tutorial and also cut out our trouser pattern. So everything will be stitched in the part 2 of this video. If this video has been helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and also hit on the notification bell. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching and bye for now.